All right, everybody, we are back. We are back. And again, we are back. Ding, ding, and ding again. This is Ringside's Corner Confession. I am Troy Vaughn, also known as Trey Amazing, your favorite part-time stripper, part-time pastor, but full-time dating commentator, back at it again. We have C.L. Davis and the wonderful Jazz. And if you haven't noticed, they are rocking the 2255 custom hats. Right? Right, looking fly as usual. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. These are hats for both men and women. So this is going to be a sequel, a part two. We just wrapped up a video with CL. Went great. We talked about dating as an entrepreneur. We're talking about evolving men's styles that catch the ladies' eyes. But we just couldn't leave the building because we needed to get the both of these two. Because they were dropping some nuggets, they were dropping some stories, they were dropping some testimonials that I think collectively we felt needed to be shared and provided some great material. So, Jazz, we're going to start with you. You talked about balance. You talked about, I think you understand the importance. You're dating someone who is building an empire, who is growing, not only creating an empire, creating a legacy, a legacy of excellence through great quality hats. So that is not necessarily something that's 9 to 5. That is a 24/7 and beyond. However, you're with someone that you care about. You're with someone that you love, someone you want to build a future with. But doing so, it requires time investment. It requires emotional investment. It requires, so much. And some of that can, at times, be an obstacle when it comes to someone building an empire. But you brought up a great point. Is nothing more admirable than a man or woman, out there doing their thing, hustling. But what about the relationship? So can you expound on that? What are some of your, we got his take, but we need to get your side. So can you build upon that for a little bit?
I believe balance is needed. You can support your man. The main thing is to be knowledgeable of what it is that he's invested in. Again, I've worn hats forever, but I became more knowledgeable because of his passion and the brand that he's building. So now I have to learn what it is that takes up this time and interest. I have to learn it. I have to support it. And I think we have a good balance in the support. But when it comes to relationship, CL has to do better with balance because I want my date time. And we've been on dates, and I don't mind him promoting, but I want him to really back into the date. I think sometimes I even dress according to what it is we're going to do, because if it sounds like it's going to turn into business, I'm going to just prepare myself for selling because I have to put a hat on. I can't show, ladies, it costs a lot for these weaves, but you got to put a hat on, and we can rock them with the weaves. It does look good. But he doesn't know how to reel it in. Like one time we went to the comedy show. I'm going to tell a story.
Tell a story.
We went to the comedy show, and shout out to Fredo. He's a great supporter of 2255. He was hosting, and he was bringing another act on, and we were eating. It was a date. And he said, support 2255 after the show. Get your hat. Keyword after the show.
After the show.
He gets up from eating. I cover his food because I already know he gone. And I immediately went, oh my God. Because it's a comedy show in the front room. Mm-hmm. And all you hear is chatter. I look to my right, and CL has his phone out, showing the people his Instagram, giving out calls, working the room while the next act is up. And I'm like, you're at a show and it's a date. So I feel like hustle, get that money. We can do that together. I'm going to be there to support ladies. We have the womb, so we have to birth it out. But at the same time, I want to have memories while we're out. I can't say we were just out selling. I want to know that, did we dance? What did we do? He can't tell you what we even ate. He can tell you, he going to buy one tomorrow.
That's right.
He said he want 3 hats.
Oh, I'll come back. I don't mind carrying my keys in my pocket. So if she have my keys, I'll come back to her and say, let me see the keys. Because I always keep hats in my trunk. Mm-hmm. I always keep hats in my trunk. And I come back and say, let me see. She already knows. She see me coming back to that table. She already knows what's coming. Let me see the
Gone.
the keys.
I'm at the table alone.
Oh.
He is outside selling. It's been times that it's been over, take the check, and come out there, and he just out there, and he give me that look like, you know, you have to adjust to it. But again, you want to have that balance because you have to build that strong foundation. If I'm going to sow and support, I would like to also know that you're sowing into the relationship to create those memories that I would like to have.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to find that balance. I mean, we can be supportive. And also, well, ladies, I think they need to be protective too. You have to be watchful because some people can see and want to attach themselves. So you have to be there for him to also be supportive and watchful. Make sure everybody's not just attaching themselves to what he's anointed to do. So I think the support is there, and he knows how to get out and call it a date, but it turns into business real quick. And I just would love for him to reel it in. You can just pass a card and talk about the hat, but then you don't spend the whole time and say, come on. And he has initiated. He has said, come on, follow me to my car. And I'm like, they didn't even ask you.
Always selling. I mean, this is a 24/7. You know,
24/7.
It's 24/7. So I mean, at the drop of a dime.
And this is for life. So you have to invest in both equally.
Mm-hmm.
We went to a wedding, and Craig wanted to set up a hat.
You know what? I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to bring this up until I had the green light, but I remember the story. So I think this would be perfect. So I brought the story up to my girlfriend, but if you would indulge us, kind of break down beginning, middle, and end of the story.
I'll start. One of my best friends, Terry Wilson, he's on my page as a matter of fact, is getting married. Now we go back to the word enclosed cognition. Now Terry, man, has just about almost every hat that I've created. He has it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, man, listen, I was one of these groomsmen. I want all the grooms that have my hats on. That didn't fair because some of the guys just weren't hat guys. But that was his idea. And he was like, listen, man, I want you to set your hats up at my reception. Now, that's a little unorthodox, but of course it works for me. You know?
Oh yeah, you benefit.
Right. You know that.
You benefit from their union.
That's music, right, exactly. That's music to me. And she wears like his wife wears. She's beautiful, so beautiful. She wears our hats as well.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's presented. Man, set your table up. You know they oh man, it was so beautiful the way they had it laid out. They talked to the caterer, the wedding coordinator, and man, it's done. This is what we're gonna have you set your hats up at the reception. I thought it was ingenious. I thought it was a really, really great idea myself. You know, but somebody else was like, who am I gonna be talking to? Well, I'm just gonna sit at the table. I was like, you are a social butterfly.
You gonna be alright.
You gonna make some friends. Right. Everybody's happy at weddings. It's not a funeral. Everybody's happy. I said, you make plenty of friends right at your table.
Yeah, but I just think the initial thought should have been, you're in the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a +1. And this is our first time attending a wedding, me knowing, meeting his friends. I think the initial thought should have been, no, I got my +1. We're going to enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have hats in the trunk. It's like when you're mindful and thoughtful, it's easy to support it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you thought about, she's going to be literally there by herself. And I can sell from my trunk. But if you set up a table, what I'm going to do? I'm going to be behind the table selling too. But if I'm in a gown in my heels and I'm like, we about to dance at our first wedding together and this and that, I'm not thinking that you're going to finish taking pictures and I'm going to be sitting here and with you over there selling hats. I think he should have been more mindful and decline. And again, it makes it easy to support when a woman feels like I'm being considered because I support you so much. Consider certain things that are our first. That was our first wedding we were attending together.
See, I'm trying to have you back on this.
Well, here's the thing. You know what? In hindsight, kind of like who is that? Steve Jobs said you don't want to connect the dots looking back. Now looking back, you make a very great point. Our first wedding, I should have been more considerate of you and something. But see, here's the thing, and I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying the fact that men, we don't always see things with such clarity as relates to what should be a sensational moment in time, like a wedding. And guess what? She prevailed. But guess what? I still sold 3 hats. So
You
it
Yes,
worked.
still got
you
that money though.
I still want to sell it 3 because they're like, man, still brings man. I know you see your girl.
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
funny because when we got to the wedding, well, we got there early because he was in the wedding, and he says, "Don't worry about me unloading all the things, all the props or whatever." He said, "Pass me that hat right there." I said, "He got to take one in," and I said, "I won," but he brought his one hat in, and he still sold like he said, but. That's what's so attractive about him, his hustle and his mind and how focused he is. And it makes you just want to support him even more. So I appreciate that. But again, I won because he did think about it. We didn't have to fight too much on it. And that's a balance enough that makes you keep going because he knows how to reel it in when he see how passionate I am about how I'm feeling about certain things. But again, I'm still so attractive to the hustle. Sometimes I have to give in too.
No, the hustle continues, and the quality is certainly excellent. Just from what I've seen thus far. Everybody out there, if you're watching, there will be a link to the website in the description. You can go ahead and check it out whenever you like. Make sure you support. Grab 1 or 2 or 10 hats. Totally be worth it. Jazz, I want this video to be about you right now because I want you to give your take. You dropped a couple of nuggets of wisdom, but I want you to close us out. I want you, to the women out there who may have a man in their life who is hustling hats or T-shirts or social media, or maybe he's a rapper or whatever. It doesn't matter, to the women out there who are about to embark on a serious committed relationship with a man who is an entrepreneur. Man, he doesn't have the standard 9 to 5, the consistent, every other week paycheck. What are some things, closing out a quick list for the women out there watching right now? Like, girl, if you about to date an entrepreneur, you need to do A, B, C, X, Y, and Z. What are some quick things you want to close out with for the ladies out there watching?
First of all, if he's rapping in his late 50s, run.
Good one.
No, really. Again, you have to be supportive. Learn the business. Anything can happen. And in order for his time and work to pay off, you have to be able to pick up. You have to sacrifice as well. You have to be patient, understanding, and use wisdom. Use wisdom. Always be watchful, again, for those that want to attach themselves. Also, make more time and effort and learn different avenues where he can grow. That way you can give solid suggestions, and don't operate out of emotions. You have to, in this industry with such a dapper, fine man, you have to be mindful that, sometimes it's going to attract certain things, and certain people. You have to have that foundation, which that balance brings, so that that foundation is strong enough that you understand this is business and certain things he has to do. So use wisdom, be supportive, and you have to always keep prayer in your relationship. You have to be strong in prayer, because even when he don't see it, you have to be able to pray some things over him, up off of him, and from around him. So use your wisdom, be prayerful, be very supportive, but make sure you gain the knowledge in the field that he's growing in and the brand that he's building, because you never know when you have to step in. You never know when you're needed for that extra growth that has to take him to a different level. We're the women, so we birthed out the things with our womb. So just be mindful of those things. And whatever it is that he's chasing, get a little more passionate and involved in it. And that'll help you sustain the relationship and grow in it, and you both won't be bored, or one won't fall off and feel like they're not growing with that person because you're involved in that and you're supportive of that.
Powerful. I like that. I really like that. I feel like for the ladies out there, I think that was definitely something. I hope you took notes, because again, building an empire does require time. It requires that hustle, even off the clock. However, you have to, I think, to summarize what you're saying, you have to be that third eye. you have to be, his eyes sometimes in the back of his head to see things he may not see, and even, stay rooted and grounded in prayer, because that's essential as well. So I can dig it. Really digging it. CEO, any final thoughts, any remarks? I had your back, but she proved a great case for the wedding.
And per usual. See, it's digging your ditches. We talked about this. Well, actually, you know what? I'll bring this up. We were talking about going to Philly for Black Ski Weekend. And all of the rooms were sold out. All the rooms were sold out. And this is just a caveat about, man, life, just life. So me and my best friend, Mark Payne, shout out to Mark, who was saying that, man, listen, it's your birthday. Just get to Pennsylvania, get to that ski resort, brother. It's on me. I just need you to get there. So we got the guy on the line, conference call for the villa. And the guy was like, man, y'all talking about all that stuff that y'all gonna do, and y'all didn't have a room yet. Because I'd already booked my flight. I booked my flight and there was no room. And I said, man, I want to share something with you in life. Dig your ditches. That's all you got to do is dig your ditches. And those ditches will be filled with water. That's all you got to do is dig them. Just dig your ditches. And how you dig your ditches in life is be the best version of yourself that you can be in regards to what it is that you want to have. In that first interview, I named the guys who, man, were in great part, man, on my radar as far as like how I like to emulate them. The same in relationships. If it's important, find a couple that's been very successful. I think one that's really great is Michelle and Obama. Because when those two met, she was
spending
like
money.
her. She was, now when we met, all the way up. And I'm talking like all the way up. You understand me? And it's just important, man. It's important. Dig your ditches. Be the best version of yourself that you can be. And whatever it is that you need, this universe is going to bring it to you. It happens that way. I'm living proof of that. It happens that way. Just be the best version of yourself. And if you're saying, man, I don't know how to do that, find somebody that you like that's doing something you like to do. And just study that person. Just study that person. I'm going to give this a little story. And then we'll maybe get out of here then. Fantasia. I love Fantasia. But Fantasia was somewhere, this is her account, that she was somewhere being booked for a show. And the young lady who was who was hiring her for this show was asking her to sing a number of songs. Now, prior to that, for what Fantasia alluded to, that they had had some kind of conversation about this young lady wanting to be in a healthy relationship, her wanting to be married. And at this point, she was asking Fantasia to sing a certain number of songs. And Fantasia told her, said, listen, you want to be married? You don't want me to sing them songs right there. Those not the songs you want to be listening to if you're talking about being married. And I was like, wow, she gets it.
She caught it.
Because what we feed ourselves, you're responsible for what you eat. I'm responsible for what I eat. I'm responsible for what I take in. I got a guy I listen to every day, like 24 hours a day, which is Bob Proctor, which has helped to connect a lot of dots with me, him and some other men, Reverend Ike, Jesus, Paul, number of men, man, that I've studied. And when you get it, you get it. You can't feed yourself everything, You can't feed yourself, man, always hanging with your partners. And you talking about relationship, that's a no-no. That's absolute no-no. And as a side note, for anybody, and I say this to everybody, I say it privately, I say it openly, if you are thinking about coming to Atlanta with your girlfriend or your wife, whatever, make sure that relationship is tight. Because Atlanta, that's what she was kind of saying a minute ago, Atlanta is just a different animal as it relates to men, as it relates to women towards men. So if you think about coming to Atlanta, have it together before you get here. And I'm not talking about necessarily financially. I'm talking about that closeness with your significant other.
Make sure you're solid.
Friends.
Yeah, make sure
Best
best friends. Make sure that you are solid. But again, it's what we feed ourselves. So feed yourself good thoughts. Find somebody to emulate relationship wise. And I do love the story about Barack, and Michelle. Barack, what was Barack? How many packs of cigarettes was he smoking a day and drinking beer? And you have such a wonderful woman, man, as your boss at your job. But then at the very same time, after they got off at 5, the roles reversed. You know, read her book. From my understanding, it's a really great book. You know, read her book. Study those you look to emulate or be like, you know. I was very thankful. You know, especially when she knew that how many commas I had in my bank account and still gave me a chance. No, I had some money now. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
I had some money. But I will admit that she had more money than me.
Oh.
You know, yeah, she had a couple of more. It's okay. It's okay if you only got like one or 2 commas, you know, or somebody got
Just have some vision. Have a vision.
yeah, somebody else got a few more commas than you. You know, don't let that deter you from, you know, who you think might be for you. You know, because I know so many black women, especially in Atlanta, that are looking for good men. But then there's so many men that feel as if, you know, that if his bank account doesn't match hers, you know, then you know, that's the issue. And it should never be. It should never be, because there's a great dynamic between men and women. You know, neither is greater than the other. But part of that caveat is most women are looking for a good man. So if you concentrate on being good, good will come to you. That's what I think. I was fortunate. I'm very fortunate for whatever reason, you know.
I think you're blessed. I think you're blessed.
I think, yeah.
We're blessed.
We're blessed. We're blessed.
No, I agree with you. Atlanta, I've lived in Atlanta for 25 years. Atlanta is certainly unique. It is a different. It's a different place altogether, especially when you focus on relationships and dating and the ratio of women to men and the dynamics that come with that. Atlanta can be a unique place. So I certainly can agree with you there. Everybody out there, make sure you will find the description. Just read the description. You will find links to the website. But even with the links being in the description, you want to give your website one more time.
2255 Custom Hats. And our IG presence is 2255 Custom Hats at IG.
Okay.
And it's .com. www.2255customhats.com.
Here it is.
Exemplified.
I was in my mind. I was like,
right there.
see, that's what we're talking about. That's a very good
because
thing.
as men, we be thinking, well, you know, to put the www. You should know that, right? But when you, that's what I'm talking about.
It came full circle, right?
Right. It comes exactly full circle.
Very good.
That's good.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. This has been Ringside Corner Confessions, and we are out. Thank you.
Thank you.